Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence. Today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Mad Marauders Sargent Slaughter. And that is correct. It is a Mad Marauder, not Sarges Marauders. And that probably all has to do with copyright, because if they lose the rights to Sargent Slaughter, they don't have to worry about changing any of this, which could cause some issues. But then again, all their boxes continue to change, so I don't know how much it really matters. So I will be comparing them to the first classified version, which is right over here. I will not be comparing them to the Valaverse. If you're looking for that, I will leave a link in the comments pinned that takes you to that description where I do compare the two so you can see the difference in case you're just wondering. So anyway, looking at this figure, he's obviously different colors. He comes with all the same accessories I believe that he had before, but he does come with the boxing gloves, the weights, and I hate this, itty bitty bag. Everyone just thinks it's so cute to say now. Anyway, so those are added from Big Boa, not the itty bitty bag that's already with it. I do like it because now you can throw the hands in it. You don't have to worry about really losing them. But I think someone said that this figure is different, so we'll compare that. But we'll take a look. We'll see how much different they are. On the side here, we do have some pretty good artwork. Him with his whistle and his, I forget what it's called. It's a stick. And then over here we have the file card system. Then we have the QR code that takes you to hell. And for the record, I did check it before I started just to make sure I'm not continuing to say that. But on the back here, you can see some housing in the back. He's holding the bag. It's probably full of, all the hands to just make it look full. And here we just give you a little bit of what he comes with. So I am interested to see this figure. You guys know my feelings on Sargent Slaughter. It does look like he's wearing some booty shorts there. Good luck not seeing that anymore. But again, hey, him and I, we've kind of resolved our differences at Joe Fest. So if you were there, if you see the thumbnail, you probably go, hey, why is this guy choking Sargent Slaughter? Well, we had to resolve our differences. But anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like G.I. Joe stuff, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe. And God, it's been a lot. Hell, this is 129. I think we did 130 with the, no, 120 is the Stinger. I don't know. I've done a lot. Let's get to this. Okay, so I did get them out, and as you can see, I have my other Mad Marauders, including Barbecue, who has just, poor guy has just been sitting there waiting to have someone to join his team, but he's been sitting with his other Barbecue because they're firefighters, and, well, I think they're useless in G.I. Joe. I know, military do need firefighters. I'm not saying that, but for my G.I. Joes, I don't care. Anyway, so quickly we'll look at his boxing gloves, same ones that we got with Big Boa, except these are blue. They look nice, and now you have... and they're actually pretty soft and pliable. But you have some nice gloves that will fit on some of your figures. This one seems to have a longer peg, so I'm not sure if it fits on all of them. But at least you can have Sarge, boxing, Big Boa, or maybe you find some other figures. Also, don't forget there's these two little cuffs. I hate the new packaging. Well, the old packaging. It's surrounded figure, or the accessories just tend to pop out really easily. Then we have his little baton. It looks more like, I mean, it could be a BDSM little whip here. But anyway, it does look pretty cool. They give you some paint apps on it. So you get the whip at the end here, blue stick, you got your handle, and then you have your gold. So you can compare it to the original, which is a much brighter gold. You get your handle. Again, it seems like they use the same amount of paint apps, just different colors. All right, we get the weights, which are 90-pound weights. I really wish they would have went with like 80s, just so you could add some weights. And I understand the mold, so I don't really need to hear the reasons why. But it would be cool to have 80s and then 70s and kind of work your way down, just so you can create a weight rack of some sort, rather than having a bunch of 90s, which we probably will end up with. But again, these do look cool. They look like real weights. If anyone's been in the gym, and these are some of the style of weights, these hexagon weights. So again, look cool. They got some flex to them, but they're not super bendy. So Then we get his whistle, which this whistle is silver. Not the necklace, but the strap or whatever you want to call it, is pliable enough. It's made to sit around him, as we can see right here. And the original one is gold. So it's little things like that that really do go pretty far. I'm not going to lie about that. We get the AK-47, and everyone knows, we all feel the same way about the AK-47. It was in a panel of G.I. Joe. One of the few panels that he was in where he grabbed an AK-47 from one of the Cobra Troopers. You can see it is slightly bent. It's pliable. It is not soft, okay? So yes, I can move it back and forth, but it's not that soft rubber that they were using before. It is just a very pliable plastic. The difference between the two is the original one has some brown on the grip, all right, where this one seems to have nothing. And this one does come with the flashlight, all right? It is in the bin over there. All right, so you do have a removable magazine. And here we have the flashlight, which does come out like this. So if it does bother you that your Cobra Stinger driver doesn't have this, and there's that nice gap for the AK-47, you can grab it for one of your Sarges and throw it in there. All right? But the design on this weapon is pretty nice. It's got the stock that seems pretty collapsed in there. You got a port for blast effects. Detail looks good. I think someone said this is an actual AK-74, not an AK-47, but AKs to me all look the exact same. I am not a gun guy, so please don't yell at me about it. All right. Nice, decent gun. He will never be using it unless if he's picking it up from Cobra. I have more than enough weapons that he's supposed to be a real American hero. You guys know my feelings on him. He turned his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. All right, so he comes with the same hands that he had before. We got some gripping hands. We got the 2 punch hands. All right. We have his finger pointing hands. We have his trigger finger hands. And now we get a salute hand. Now this is something that, from what I understand, Sergeant Slaughter wanted to have. So detail is really good on all of these. You can see the knuckles. You got your fingernails. Again, all looks really nice. And you should be able to use this on other figures. Now, this is interesting. I can't wait to try this. So these clearly, so this goes to the old, so this goes to Sergeant Slaughter. This is the old style pegs they were using, right? And this is the new one. You can see how much longer the stem is. So I'm wondering how well that works. I would assume these new hands, and this might be Quick Kick's hands. One of the hands that came with Quick Kick. I should just grab it. I know right where it's at. So. Sorry about that, guys. But while you're waiting for me to find Quick Kick's hands, take a second, hit that like button, and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. So I got Quick Kick's hands right here. I wonder if they're the same. So Quick Kick's hands. And here is the saluting hand. And lo and behold, they are the same hands. So, my assumption is this is Quick Kicks right here. Don't want to lose it because I think it is a slightly different shade. This should work with any of your figures. So, any of these karate chopping hands that we're going to be getting can also be used as salute hands, where Quick Kick obviously comes with a left one. And I'll put this to the side. I just happen to have that sitting right there. So, and then we have the bag. All right, and you got USA on it. It can go around them like a backpack. You can throw it over a shoulder. It does look like it should tie up if you pull it. So it's gonna scrunch up so you don't lose everything. It's got the handle on it. Is there an actual handle? Yep, there's a handle right there. So this is nice. Again, I'm glad that they're giving us some soft goods and with some of the figures. Hopefully this is something that will continue. I would love to get maybe a few more capes that some of the figures have. I don't know why I said that, because Supreme Cobra Commander, Mindbender, what's his face, Serpentor, all come with it. So I don't even know why I said that. All right, so here are the two minifigures that he comes with. All right, so this is the original, much smaller. All right, and this does open up. So if you need to open it up, and it has the old logo that they were using. I think they still use it. Yeah, they're still using it, but same colors. So you have the same figure, but one is a Mad Marauders. So he has those colors on him. But obviously, it is much, much bigger. This has something... I like the fact that they gave it two different artwork. So I do like that. Now, this is the artwork that came with it originally. And this is also on the original box. So here we have the artwork from here. And this is the main artwork. So, and quickly looking at this, this is all taped. It does have a file card. Good luck reading that. And I don't think there's really anything to read other than a bunch of little lines. So you pretty much get as much information out of this as you do the retro file cards that they give you. But you do get one flag point. I wish I still had my my 20 flag points from my USS flag. All right. So we have his campaign cover, which, as you can see, it sticks on really nice. And I just lost the stupid glasses. Oh, here they are. All right. So the two campaign covers. Pretty much both very pliable. All right. This one is very pliable, but it straightens out. The Mad Marauders is actually a little stiffer. So hopefully it stays on as easy. There you have his bars. I think that's what it's called. If I'm wrong, please feel free in the comments to let me know what it actually is called. You do have the little band that goes around it. So it does look good. It is in his green color for Mad Marauders. And now let's look at the glasses. And glasses have just been an utter disaster for the Joe brand. Now here are the original. They are all bent up. They are just jacked up and look like crap. These ones here are in the color of the Mad Marauders. So it has that gold with blue. So these are the aviators. They do feel like, I don't know, they're still super soft. I think I mentioned before, I believe the only one that actually seemed to have really good ones was Ripper. So anyway, there you go with that. Now we'll take a look at the Mad Marauders Sargent Slaughter. And as you can see, it is the same figure side by side. They didn't change anything, all right, other than the paint. This is a really good looking figure, and I think the face sculpt is extremely nice. Although it looks like there's dirt above his eyes, like his eyebrows. But, all right, so we'll quickly take a look at it. He does have the U.S. flag on his shirt. And this is the same uniform, the same tank top that Roadblock. So this is based on the Roadblock buck for the most part. Legs are different, which actually makes him shorter. All right. So the upper torso is Gung Ho. Well, actually, it's just Roadblock. The arms are Gung Ho, Naga Hide, Roadblock, those figures. Because the legs are shorter, they're different legs they work with. I forget what figures this go with. I'm sure someone will let me know who they go to. He actually stands shorter than Roadblock and Gung Ho, which I'm perfectly fine with because those figures are they're large figures. All right, so you got this nice little buckle with the little paint on it. No worry about the color blending, as all the joints here, well, I guess right here is different. So they need to do two paint colors right here because you have your boot cut down here. Boots look really good. Got your shoelaces in it. It does have some sort of what looks like a guard of some sort that wraps around. But really, there's no frills to this guy. Then you look at his head. This is an older, well, a younger Sarges ladder. So from an older one, from a younger version of him from years ago. I don't know if that's dirt or a paint app, or it's just that it's, I don't know. This one doesn't have it nearly as, which I don't mind because it gives it a little bit of a different face sculpt, but it almost looks like he has early Klingon early Klingon paint from Star Trek. But he's got his eyebrows. They look good. Eyes look good. He's looking straight here. A nice handlebar mustache. It does. Oh man, people are gonna flip out. But the skin tone on this figure is whiter, and it is noticeable. It almost looks like he's wearing a light shirt, a light tan shirt. I can't not see it. I thought it maybe was just a camera, but when you look at it, you can see the difference. So quickly, we'll take a look at his articulation. His head does move back and forth, kind of up and down. Neck is on a movable joint, as you can see from the two different skin tones. He's got an ab crunch, so he can move up and down. There's his T-pose, bicep swivel, pinned double joints, because like I said, this is gung-ho and Roblox arms. Get your wrists that move back and forth. He does turn side to side. Great Jean-Claude Van Damme with some really nice drop-down hips. Again, I'm not a huge fan of drop-down hips, and I feel like they've started to go away from them. Maybe they were able to fix the design so they don't have to drop down as much. It's just another thing to break. All right. Then you got your thigh swivel, pinless knee joints. You got your boot cut. This figure moves really, really nice and smooth. So, all right. So all in all, no issues with the articulation. He doesn't need to be heated. Again, it is in the mid 70s here in Michigan right now. So, but the big question is, let's try the glasses on and see how they fit. So here's his whistle. So it just kind of hangs right down. And I think they did a pretty good job of doing their best that they can without completely forming it. It does wrap around his neck pretty nice. It is going to stick out straight. I guess you'd have to heat that up and get it to drop. But again, it could look like he's moving. To me, that's not a huge deal. But to some, it might be. His glasses. So these seem to go on pretty well. Now they are inward, so it puts tension on the head, which keeps it in place. And if that works, then that's fine. You have these ones, they're all bent up. This is how they came. All right. And I don't know, just maybe I need to go and heat them up, move them around, and just get it to work. So there's your aviators. There's this campaign cover, and it pops on, and I think that actually looks pretty good. Campaign cover is not going to fall off, all right? That's one thing about the pliable, this pliable plastic that they're using. It fits really nice. And then let's pop off. One hand, we'll give him his saluting hand. And let's make him salute. I don't have any U.S. flags in my house, so I can't have him salute one, but you can get a pretty decent salute here. Or a karate chop, whatever you want to do. All right. We'll get to the boxing gloves. Now remember, you do have these pieces that are going to go over, and they do slide on really nice. Obviously the paint matches. So if you have this guy and you need him to be duking it out with someone, oops, there you go. And I think he actually comes with the same legs that, Big Boy actually comes with like tights. So I don't know why he'd be fighting with his aviators on, but hey, you do you. All right. I have a feeling people are going to use these gloves for other figures more than Sarge. But you also got your regular pinch gloves. Your other punching fists, if you want to be punching some bats. Again, punching a bat seems as stupid as a football player punching another guy with a helmet, but they do it all the time. So I would imagine Sarge would probably do it. I would say in real life, he seemed like a really nice guy when I did meet him. And before anyone asks, yes, I did tell him that I felt bad for having a problem with him for turning his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. And there were people around that heard it. All right. So now we want to get him working out. Here we go with our weights. And I really do like the weights. All right. I do. It is a nice touch for any of the figures. Again, I just wish they would give us some other weight, just because it's right on it. Or don't even tell us what it is. Let us mark it down if we want. But you can turn it so people don't see it, hopefully. But anyway, that looks pretty cool. Then we got the AK-47 that nobody will use with him. Because if there's one rifle that is more non-American than the AK-47, I'd like to see it. All right, maybe the Luger, but the Luger is not nearly as popular as an AK-47. All right, I don't believe any U.S. uses the AKs, and it also is kind of tiny. He's a fairly big feller, so there you go with that. But we're gonna give him a different weapon. But you got to show what he has. Again, figure looks really nice. And now let's take a look at the itty bitty bag. And again, we can throw everything in here. Not everything, but you get the point. Throw most of his stuff in here. His hands. His boxing gloves. And it fills it nice and, I'm not going to say it. It fills it. And then all we got to do is take the little piece here and look at that. Now you don't have to worry about it coming off. We can wrap it around his back like this. Maybe. So now I was walking around with it on his back. We can have it on one shoulder like this. I know why I'm telling you like this. You guys can figure all this out. What I really do like is the handle. And how well can you get it there? Because I think this is how a lot of people would be walking in with their stuff. So, a little bit of work on it, moving some stuff around. You can make this thing look really nice. And I do think for the most part, it's a good looking figure. He does match with your other Mad Marauders, which I know a lot of people really do like. I don't know why it looks like Barbecue is about ready to shoot him, but it does. But all in all, I guess he would be my squad leader for the Mad Marauders. Sarges Marauders. You can call it Sarges Marauders. It's like not calling the Steel Brigade because it is owned by someone else. They're the Steel Brigade. They just have to call it the Steel Corps. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Okay, so despite my feelings on Sargent Slaughter as a kid, this figure is a really good figure. And I never was a Mad Marauder guy. I didn't have any. It was towards the end of my time. But this figure really does stand out. The colors do look good, but I thought the original Sargent Slaughter looked good also. But like I said, I think we've squashed our differences, the Sarge and I, although he didn't know that we had differences. But before anyone does ask, I did tell him at Joe Fest that I felt bad for having issues with him, and the fact that he turned his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA, and there are people to confirm that I said that. So anyway, if you like this figure, if you like Sarge, I think it is a well-earned addition into the Joe lore. Go out, get it. Then you have your leader of your Mad Marauders or your Slaughter Marauders. Again, you can call them whatever you want. No one's coming to take your tiny little figures. All right, so there you have it. That is Sargent, Slaughter, the Mad Marauders, and even the original classified figure. I actually thought this was a really good figure, despite my issues with the Sarge. And again, not as a person. All right, again, I barely met him at Joe Fest, and I've heard only wonderful things about him. And he was wonderful there. But again, wrestling was a huge part of my childhood and many of us. So anyway, there you go. If you want him, he's going to be available. I believe this was actually the running variant that's going to be harder to get, where he's not wearing his campaign cover. Sarge wanted it on, so in the box that I got here, the campaign cover is actually over here, but I'm an opener, so I open up the figure, and that's what you're going to get, the review. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys like this. If you enjoy this type of stuff, you enjoy my content, and you're on social media, Instagram, A Punk with Toys. We get the Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys, and I show off a lot of stuff. Everyone shows off stuff, no drama there, and I also post my lives and different things like that. Last but not least, you guys know the deal. It's actually not last or not least, but if you stayed this long, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop something like this. Now, I am going to get out of here. What I am going to do is I'm going to leave you a link to the last classified video I did, which was the Cobra Stinger. Down here is the classified playlist. And in the comments, I will post a link to the first review that I did, where I also compare the Valorverse figure. Take care.